Thank you, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to the FVL Band Concert, all the way from beginners all the way to the accomplished high school students that we're eager to hear. Our three pieces we're very excited to play. I've been thinking about what each cadet band sounds like each year, and it's so fun to come like last week and yesterday, and just to hear the improvement from the previous week to that, and last week to this week. 2 weeks ago, I don't know if I was going to say this, but now I can definitely say every year they get better and they peak just at the right time. So we began and ended Lightly Rode Together. That's job number one. Jingle bells. Thank you. Sometimes you want the kids to be able to play a complete song, not just the small portions of 8 measures in the lesson book. But Jingle Bells is the only complete song in the book up to this point. So sometimes you make something up. Well, what do the students know? B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, even A, 7 notes. We should be in business. So why don't we give them a little taste of the blues, a blues style piece. Okay, D minor blues. Sounds like time for a D minor descending scale. Exactly. In addition to that, you need some harmony, like a drone harmony by our horns and saxophones. Totally awesome. By the way, in case you thought there was a slip of the tongue, I said a drone harmony, not a drone army. Although sometimes. Anyway, now you need a rhythm section. So you turn to the percussion section for some rhythm. Rock on. Of course, what's missing? The melody. Okay, in D minor, let's build it around an interval of a third, a minor third. Great start. Well, that's the first melody. In the middle, though, we're going to take that melody and we're going to cadence that in D minor right to the note, oh no, to E natural, not E flat. Well, you got trouble. You got trouble, my friends, right here in Cadet City. That starts with T and that rhymes with E. Yes, you got trouble. Now you might say, so what? What's the matter with that E flat? Bad writing. Is E flat such a crime? It's a caper. Now's the time.
I think while these students are exiting the stage, let's have it one more time for these kids, because I think I always get great pleasure out of listening to Jingle Bells every year, and I know we've been doing it for a number of years, and it's quite a tradition. So thanks for that, and I really like. By the way, Cadet Caper Blues, Mr. Cromer arranged that for the kids. He wrote that. Right. During this transition time, we're going to have some members of the symphonic band come and collect a free will offering, and in just a few minutes, we'll have the concert winds coming up on the stage under the direction of Mrs. Amy Noga.
Castles and Dragons by Todd Stallman. On their stately journey towards the castle, the knights must slay a fierce dragon that is threatening the local village. As the battle ensues, the dragon is defeated, and the knights return once again to their noble procession.
what we're doing now is transitioning the Concert Winds members around because we're going to be bringing the symphonic band up. We're going to do the next two numbers together with these two bands. We played a number together. I was trying to remember when that was. This year's seniors were freshmen when we last did something together, and it was Pink Panther, and it was during Music Fest. This is, I think, a much greater cooperation here because with the two numbers, they're songs that both groups rehearsed on their own, and then finally yesterday for the first time we came together, and we had most of the kids here yesterday for rehearsal, and it's been a real treat. I know you're going to enjoy this. So we'll bring up the high school students, and then we'll have a couple more things to say. Everything worked. They all have a chair. Really, yesterday was a very special day, I think, for me, because it was we get these the kids together. We've got anywhere from 6th grade on up to 12th grade here, and it's not something that we've done very much. And I really think that this needs to be something that we do from every year. But I have a crew of high school students that give up their time, like almost every Saturday, to assist with cadet band rehearsal, assist Mr. Cromer, assist with the Concert Winds rehearsal, and I would just like to acknowledge those students. So if you're one of those that are kind of a regular to semi-regular volunteer on Saturday morning, please stand up, high school students.
Rivers. The second movement from Georgian Suite by Samuel Arkin. This work was commissioned in 2002 by the Pickens County Middle School in Jasper, Georgia, directed by Mary Land, and premiered at the 2003 Joint College Band Directors Association and National Band Association Conference. Rivers is a composition that represents the struggles some students experienced when their school was divided and an additional middle school was built in their district. The premise of Rivers is completely analogous to the situation at Pickens County Middle School. A river that divides creates two rivers, just as the middle school represented in this work divided to form two schools. Losing half the children in her band meant saying goodbye to the students she loved. In the composition, 3 individual themes are introduced, then played together in the end. The composition's final note is the single strike-rate chime. When this single chime note appears, it symbolizes Director Mary Land, the one true constant for the children, the one who wrote on her classroom wall, "There are no tears allowed in the band-aid." Like the chime that ends the piece, it is Mary Land's voice, talent, and strength that will long resonate in her students' lives. River can also be analogous to our FVL Schools band program in a slightly different way. A river can be a combination of smaller creeks, streams, and rivers that come together to form a larger, stronger, and mightier river. Our students come from many smaller schools and join together as the FVL Schools Cadet Band and Concert Winds, an experience that our smaller schools could not provide on their own. Our students also come together when they leave their respective schools and become one student body at Fox Valley Lutheran High School.
as they continue to be seated. The Georgian Suite, you notice we did not play in the correct order. It wasn't written to be played movement 1, 2, and 3. In other words, it wasn't written as a single piece of music. It simply was 3 different pieces that Samuel Hazo had written, had been commissioned to write for schools in the state of Georgia. So when that was all said and done, he just combined them into what he called the Georgian Suite. We are now going to play the 3rd movement of that Georgian Suite, and this is called Send.
Ascend, 3rd movement from Georgian Suite by Samuel R. Hazo. Ascend was commissioned by Erin Cole for her students at Tapp Middle School in Powder Springs, Georgia. This particular commission was made in conjunction with Tapp's prestigious invitation to perform at the 2004 Midwest Band and Orchestra Clinic in Chicago. The piece incorporates the use of parallel major and minor keys, as well as themes in solid mode, giving this composition its sense of adventure. Combining the triumphant qualities of a major key with the instant drama of a minor key gives the piece intensity through its harmonic contrast. Mixed meters and syncopations give the themes a unique edge, while still keeping them simple enough to hear. A brief 3-part fugue introduced as the C section returns in the end, woven with a trumpet, sax, and horn syncopated ostinato. Hazo's goal with this piece was to have many musical teaching opportunities for the band, while still providing the audience with enough energy and thematic substance to keep their interest. He truly hopes Ascend is enjoyable for the conductor, lead musicians, and the audience.
The Thunderer by John Philip Sousa, arranged by Keith Bryan and Russ Shizzle. The Thunderer was Mrs. John Philip Sousa's favorite march. Their daughter Helen revealed this, who had surmised that the Thunderer might have been her father's salute to the London Times, which was also known as the Thunderer. It was since then determined that Sousa probably had no association with the newspaper at that time. However, the Thunderer might have been one of the people in charge of making arrangements for the 1998 conclave of the Columbia Commandery No. 2, Knights Templar, Washington, D.C. In particular, Myron M. Parker, who worked tirelessly to make the event the spectacular success that it was. In the second section of the march, Sousa included an adaptation of the earlier piece, Here's to Your Health, Sir, which he had written for the trumpet and drum in 1866.
Before we play the last number, just a couple of quick items. Following the concert, we are going to be doing group photos in the Commons. And the order for that is going to be the high school band first, because we have a couple of the members that have to get to their Fox Valley Youth Orchestra concert, which starts at 4 o'clock. Okay, so we're going to do the high school picture first, then we'll do the cadet band picture, and then we'll do the concert winds picture. And we do have a photographer from FVL that's going to be taking the kind of the official photo, and so if we could just please let her get things in order. She'll take a couple of official photos, and then parents can go ahead and take some pictures while they're still on the risers. After the group photo, if you want to take some individual photos with your kids, grandparents, anything like that, that's totally good. And I know there are some schools that are also going to be taking pictures of their students in their uniforms yet too, to put in school yearbooks and things like that. So those kind of photos will be done after the group photo, okay? I really appreciate you all being here today. Thank you for your support of music, education, and getting your kids to rehearsals and practices for the past several months. Thank you for your support that you give to your high school students. Music truly is a gift from our Lord, and to use it to His glory in this way is something very special. So thank you all, and enjoy the Thunder.